Well, hello, welcome to I Love Gate today. And this is going to be fun. We're jumping back into something we haven't touched on in a while in the world of auto racing and sports and so forth, but with a little bit of a different angle. And we're here with Brandon Adkins out of Ohio. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
I'm excited to be here with you. We've interviewed someone in the world of drag racing several months ago, Travis Schumaki, if you know him.
Yep, definitely have heard of the name. He actually got me involved in trying to reach out to different you know, uh, outlets and stuff, just like yourself. And
Yeah.
we're just trying to get, and spread the word and just make awareness a little bit better.
That's the whole thing. I think it's amazing because you're in a world that not everybody really knows about or understands. We all grew up with go-karts as kids, at least most of us did, and but you're in this world of you're a kart track owner, but you're in the world of go-karts and you race, but more on the professional side. And so that it seems that there's two sides of it. It's one for the family and kids, and then there's this whole professional side to it.
Absolutely. And they're both directed towards family and kids, and
Yeah.
um you just have the recreational side where it's just fun. You're just going out with your buddies, bachelor parties, graduation parties, stuff like that. But then, there's definitely the very serious side of it, which we definitely cater on, where you can start at 5 years old and
Yeah.
race until you're 80 if you want to.
Basically,
But it's a stepping stone. All the motorsports racers and anybody involved has heard about karting or started in karting.
Yeah.
So for them to have any baseline of driving the lines of the racetrack, stuff like that, it all starts, at the basic level, and that's what we're trying to do.
Interesting. But no, even before getting into more of that, what's interesting is that you're in Ohio, but it's I think we all know Ohio is one of the states. It's a little tough sometimes, a lot of family pressures and so forth. So coming out is not always easy. And so you were married, you had a family and kids, but a lot has changed. You from the notes I took, you'd moved to North Carolina, met your current husband, and came back to Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely. I moved around a lot growing up with all the racing, and
Yeah.
I went to try to different outlets of, I worked at a kart manufacturer, I worked at a race team that imported go-karts, I worked at a other racetrack, helped them open up and stuff like that. And so I've always had a very big passion in karting. And so when I met my ex-wife, she was actually involved in karting. And it kind of just brewed and helped everything move along. And
Yeah.
eventually I still just couldn't get out of the fact that like there's something different and I needed to make a change. So, one thing led to another and things happened. And I found myself in Charlotte working for a race team, and I met my husband. And
Yeah.
ever since then, it's been way more easy to accept. Um, and it was way less hard to make the announcement or to come out per se, when you have that big of a support system and somebody backing you. So he has been tremendous in all of it. And now that he's involved with the business and stuff too, it's, we're around each other 24/7. So it's awesome. And as far as the kids go, they're super involved, but we don't get them very often. So they're not anything like I went through. I would dread getting off the school bus because I had to practice or test, and the kids, they're just doing it for fun. And
Yeah.
if they pick up on it and want to do it, then great. If they don't, then we'll just let them do what they want to do.
I think that's what's amazing. Your story kind of came full circle. I mean, you came out, you kind of escaped in some ways, but things have evolved and moved, come together, and you're able to you're back home, you're with your kids, and you're able to kind of still fulfill your dream of, you know, not just kart racing, but owning Adkins Raceway, and it just seems like everything's come together really nicely for you.
Yeah, it unfortunately took the passing of my dad to make it all happen, but I had moved back right before he passed away to help open up an indoor facility, and it was kind of like all in the works of me working with our racetrack and bringing in new stuff and stuff like that because it hadn't been open. Our last race here was in 2001 before
Yeah.
we opened it up, just about 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. So, um, if it wasn't for everything kind of happening, it wouldn't have been at this stage now. So, um, God love him, but it definitely was something that took a hit on everybody, the community, the family.
Yeah.
We've had to change a whole bunch of stuff The business was started in the 70s with my grandparents, but it was directed towards making and blueprinting and performance enhancement of all the engines.
Yeah.
Now we don't focus on any of the engine stuff. It's all just kart sales, the track, the race team,
Yeah.
driver coaching, all that kind of stuff. So
Well, that's really cool. On a side note, I my personal love when I was in it was in the 80s. It was I was into muscle cars and hot rods and all that. And I'd rebuild 350 engines, and it was all about Holly carburetors and Edelbrock manifolds and that whole world that I'm sure it doesn't tie as much into the go-kart world, but to me it seemed that it was my whole life at the time.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything I think about race wise, I kind of always turn it back towards a go-kart sport to kind of even make sense and
Yeah.
and just about anything daily life wise goes. But yeah, motorsports has definitely been
Yeah.
all about us forever.
Yeah.
So
I get it. I totally get it. What's interesting also, your connections, because I noticed that you're a community champion with Racing Pride, and that's an organization I've known about for years, and they're really strong on social media, and they seem to do a really good job of just kind of getting the word out and showing the world uh, the LGBT community in motorsports.
yeah, absolutely. And that was another Travis help. He helped me get in contact with Richard Morris there,
Yeah.
the one of the co-founders, and I kind of been bugging him a little bit, a little bit, maybe too much, but whatever.
Yeah.
And we arranged an agreement this year that I become a community champion, and I'll help support them. They'll help support me, and they definitely have a very, very, very big platform and community there that I think can introduce a lot of people into karting and into motorsports in general, and just know that there's a place for everybody.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're a male, female, trans, gay, bi, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing is like we want everybody to know that no matter what you are or how you feel, there's some place for you, and in motorsports, it's typically not geared anywhere towards that direction.
Yep.
So for somebody to say, "Hey, I'm gay," or I feel somewhere different than the norm, but hey, there's these guys out there that are completely with it and can get the job done, and but they're have the same mindset as us. So that definitely is something that we want to look forward to.
Oh, very cool. Well, for folks who don't know, right now it's I think it's the last weekend of winter, and now we're going into spring, and now you're gonna have a whole summer of things. You have a a busy schedule here coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, in Ohio, we can't really do too much with the racetrack and stuff like that. So, coming here in the beginning of April, we're hoping to open the facilities up, um, and then we'll get the track going. And then I have a full season of personal racing schedule happening starting May 6th weekend.
Okay.
We go with the race team, I think the weekend before or 2 weeks before,
Yeah.
we travel with them. So yeah, it starts ramping up and it doesn't stop until towards the end of October.
That's excellent. Well, I'm really glad you're able to be here and share a bit of your story. And there's a really good article about an interview you did with Outsports, and we're going to make sure to link that up to when we post this on YouTube and so forth. And but mostly, I'm just really glad you're able to take a little time and share some of your story with our audience here.
I really, really appreciate it. Again, I can't thank you enough. And
Yeah.
I just hope that this opens up some minds and gives some people some outlets to say, hey, I want to race go-karts or I want to go try go-karts. We're open
Yeah.
to the public. We're open to somebody serious. So again, ages 5 to 80. So
Yep.
if you have any interest at all, please, reach out.
Well, thank you. Great meeting you here.
Thank you.
So good.